Hello, and welcome to the Cohors Cthulhu playthrough with me, your GM, Lloyd. I am joined by three of the most coolest people in the world who will gladly introduce themselves to you, starting with Andy.
Hi, I'm Andy Douthwaite. I'm one of the devs here at Modiphius. I worked a bit on the Cohors line and just happy to be here. It's going to be fun.
Followed by Peachy.
Hello, I'm Peachy. Chris Peach is my real name, but most people call me Peachy. And I have my own YouTube channel where I teach people to paint toy soldiers. And I'm also happy to be here and looking forward to being a Roman.
Yeah. And finally, Utahime.
Hello everyone, I'm Utahime. I'm a host, cosplayer, and overall nerdy human being. I have actually played here on Modiphius, mainly in the Fallout campaign a while back, and I'm excited to play some Cohors Cthulhu with you all, so let's do it.
For those of you at home, we'll be playing through the Cohors Cthulhu Quick Start adventure. We will be doing a version of it. However, as it is the quick start rules, these are subject to change for the actual full rulebook. All right, everyone, you ready to go?
Let's do it.
Maybe.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay, some enthusiasm. We could
Yeah.
pretend. Yeah. Come on,
Bring
on
horror! Yes, horror! Let's go!
Just channel it. Come on. It's nighttime in the village of Losford. It is just about, maybe the sun is just about set, and we see a young man slowly and trotting along this large sack over their back as they come to a large door. They kick it open. They're a little bit annoyed by it, and you see they're a little bit, they've been clearly emotionally compromised, as they are full of anger or depression or something. Something's filling up their chest, and they're really, really mad about it. And they're like, Alfred, I'm back. And they slug it down onto the table. It's full of what sounds like horseshoes or something very similar of what's going on the inside. And they place it down. They start going through. They're like, I'm here. Sorry it took me so long. I didn't mean to get through. I apologize. I promise I'll get these done by the end of the day. Just that I met those men yesterday and they try to bustle me again today, and I'm so annoyed. And as he's talking, the camera sort of pans away from him. And it pans to someone standing in the shadows behind him. And he continues to work on it. He's going, oh, and it's really irritating, and I'm just really sorry, and I'm not so sure what's going on. And he sort of pauses, and then he turns around, he looks at the camera, and he's like, oh, is everything all right? Allah? The camera pans around, and we see this much larger man behind him wearing what potentially is like a blacksmith-style apron, leaning down. And in their hand, they're holding a hammer. The young man looks up and is like, what's going on? Before the hammer comes swinging down and it smacks them in the shoulder. They hit the ground. They start screaming. They start trying to bubble or do something or say anything else. They start to scramble back up. The hammer comes down again. It hits them in the leg. They go down to the ground. The person in this apron just straddles over them, and they start smacking over and over and over and over until the young man is no longer able to move and can only speak one thing, which is, in that case, why? Before the life goes out of their eyes and there's nothing left. The person in the apron gets up, stands to full attention, lets go of the hammer, sort of looks directly at the camera. And we see that where their eyes are, there is nothing but two large black holes. Before they suddenly breathe in, their eyes come back to focus, and the camera fades to black. We cut away from that to 24 hours later, because I use hours, even though this is dramatic and the 200th century, don't worry about that. And we cut to a caravan making its way through the Black Forest of Germany, or in this area, the Germanic regions. It is the frontier of the Roman, I'm going to say occupation, but I don't think that's the word I'm supposed to use here. We're going to say it's occupation because no one can stop me and my editors can spell it out. the frontier lands have their own interesting like ideals and structure, and a lot of Roman like legionnaires and forts have been placed around the area. And this caravan is heading towards one itself. There is not a port, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a base called Lutharium, a little bit further ahead, that this caravan is heading towards. It has been driven by this large. All my men are going to be large if I keep this up. It is driven by this large Roman who is organizing the caravan, making the mercenaries move forward, putting things out. But the camera pans away from them to the very last of the caravans, in which sit a bunch of people. That the camera pauses and looks around. Think of this as your character select screen, where we decide which of these NPCs will be playing. And in doing so, I would like you all to describe your characters as this camera comes down and we see the three of you lined up inside your caravans. Starting with Peachy.
Well, I am a Roman legionnaire, a very young, dashing Roman legionnaire, may I say, in my 20s. I'm from the region of North Africa, so mighty Carthage is where my tribe hailed from, and my name is Legionary, I'm going to have to get this right, Cohors Astrius the Muggadus. I've got a load of gear, I've got all my Roman gear. I'm looking pretty gnarly. I've seen some stuff. I'm a veteran of the wars, but still quite young.
The camera will still spin dramatically because we have that kind of technology now, and it will cut down to Utahime's character.
Well, you would see a woman who is probably around 5'9", blonde, dirty blonde hair. That's seems like almost like she cut it with like a knife or something. Very blunt cut, hair kind of off from her face, so you can see kind of where she's maybe sunburned from being out in the sun too long. She's wearing basically a tunic, but it's also on top of it some mail armor, basically different kind of colored like green and red fabrics around her waist. You'll see where she has her bow and around her back and her arrows that she's kind of fiddling around with at the moment, and fear also too across her back. She's kind of looking annoyed that she's basically kind of on the back of this Roman. You said it was like a wagon, a carriage of some sort.
Like a carriage, like one of those like slightly covered up carriages.
Right. She's kind of looking at the gentleman who's kind of at the head of the caravan, kind of a little bit ticked off. She's not really fond of a lot of Romans. She thinks they're very rude. But she is a Germanic archer scout, so she's from the German region, and she's not really sure how she feels about this band. But hey, anything for a coin. She'll take their coin. It's fine.
Nice. And finally, the camera will spin and then come up to focus on Andy's character.
Sat in this thing, pleased to be taking a load off his feet is an elderly Germanic person. So got the tunics, the belt sort of like wrapped around, quite a heavy wool cloak. And one thing that sort of shows them different than those around them, they're sort of quite a long beard, very well sort of groomed and maintained. But they have spiraling down their arms tattoos, and around their neck they have several runestones. I am playing Egino, who's also known as He Who Sees the Hidden.
There is a fourth person in the caravan, a lady who sits still wearing her intricately like flowed on like Roman style robes. She looks perturbed, annoyed, and all in all just not wanting to be there as much as she can. And she's been mostly quiet most of the time, reading through scrolls and making notes on her own. But she pauses and she looks up and she's like, right, if we're going to be stuck in this journey for another day, can I at least have the pleasure of knowing all of your names?
Gerfried.
Fantastic. One of the locals.
My name is Legionary I'm not going to do that again.
Okay, we're gonna just not.
I'm not going to do the voice. It's got such a long name.
Just your first name is fine. It's fine. You don't have to.
I'm going to go with the first name. I'm not going to use the rest because it's too long. My name is Legionary Cossus, my lady.
She you see her as you change a little bit. She's like, and I am Akusa. Nice to meet you. And then she sort of forlongingly rolls her eyes towards Egino.
Egino? No, we're not doing that. Fuck that. I can't do that for the next 3 hours.
I'd like to apologize to everyone listening to this right now for what was going on. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry.
We're professionals. Egino, no need for any titles here.
And they're like, charmed, I'm sure. They look you up and down and go, well, I am Akusa, I said before, and we are all traveling together, so the least we can do is have a good, and as she says good, an arrow comes through the air and pierces her directly through the throat.
Oh.
For a moment,
that's bad. That's very bad.
Usually, yeah. For a moment, she sort of looks down, surprised by that. And then as she's trying to grab her throat, another one comes through and hits her arm. And then multiple start to come through the cloth covering of your caravan, smacking into as many people in there as you can. The three of you are the only survivors of this attack as it comes flying on. And you can hear outside scrambling, screaming, yelling. There is something going on outside right now.
So I'm going to grab my large shield and tell the other two to get behind it that are still alive. Because it's quite a big, chunky shield that I've got. I was like, get behind me. And I'll make my way towards the exit of the caravan or the wagon.
All right. You dramatically throw it back so we can actually see where you are. You are in the middle of these massively tall trees, as the Black Forest of today is known for, in this beautiful, wonderful landscape that is tarred by the sound of death and destruction directly around you. People are fighting, weapons are being drawn, things are flooding in. It looks like a bandit attack of some kind. It's horrendous. And it is going on right now. What do you want to do?
I know that Gertrude, obviously because she's an archer herself, she's going to have her bow at the ready. As she's kind of going back with the group, she kind of almost she's backing up where the shield is protecting, but she's trying to look out and quickly, because of her experience as a scout, try to see where the shots, the arrows are coming from exactly.
Fantastic. Let's have your first roll of the day.
Ooh.
So, when you're making a roll, the first thing is you pick which one of your attributes it is, and then we pick what skill you are using. You have agility, brawn, coordination, gravitas, insight, reason, and will. To shoot, normally, just generally getting your sword out, your weapon out, is coordination, and any kind of combat in any form is fighting. So that will give you a 9 plus a 3, if I'm reading your character correctly.
Correct. I think in this moment, she's not trying to shoot because she is one to focus on her target. She's trying to identify who the enemy is.
In which case, we could make it insight in fighting.
Okay. That works.
Because you would, the thing that's really interesting here is that this is going to be an extended scene. Think of it like your opening scene for the moment. So you can identify the people you're shooting at, and then you can maybe take a shot or two, but you could do it multiple times. Because this is like the opening act, which we're trying to see how you look. Is that okay for you?
Yes, that's fine.
In which case, your total, if you add those two numbers together, is, I can't count, 14.
Oh, also, she is keen-eyed. So my eyesight is apparently as sharp as an eagle's. So if there's a difficulty here, as far as any perception checks, I have kind of more of a bigger range that I can see.
In which case, I will drop the difficulty. The difficulty was going to be 2. I'm going to drop it down to 1. Here's how die rolling works. In this game, you are always going to start with 2d20. And you want to roll and get below your number. Your number in this case is 14. Each dice that you get below that number is a success. Each dice that rolls a natural 1 is a critical success. Each time it rolls a 20 is a critical failure, but don't worry about no is a complication, not critical failure, but don't worry about that for now. Could we have you make a 2d20 roll? You want to roll below 14, and you only need 1 success minimum to succeed.
Well, I'm glad that I am keen-eyed because one of those was a 19, but the other one is an 8.
That is more than you need, baby, and that's done. Describe to me what it looks like as the battle goes on, and you constantly like pointing out enemies, moving things out, maybe taking a few shots.
So it's almost as if, like, if it's a cinematic situation, again, she's backing up. So she's actually not even, like, if they're running, the people with her are running in one direction, she's facing outward in order to basically be able to get a proper view of this landscape. And it's almost like she's zooming in. It's almost like a zoom in, kind of like just as if she has eagle eyes, kind of focusing and narrowing down and trying to see in the midst of the chaos, if she can spot any other person with a bow that could be enemies. It's kind of that instant moment of just.
I will let you spot them. Do you also want to take them out?
Once she identifies one of the enemies, she's going to go for her shot.
Done. Beautiful. Whoop. Where in the body do you want to hit them?
She is trying to aim for their head. That is
Done.
always her goal.
Could we say like your shots are so powerful they even like they flip over when they get hit by it?
Oh yeah, you see, she's also too underneath all the like, she has the cape, the wool cape and the armor, but you can see in that moment where the tunic kind of lifts, and her bicep is huge for a woman, and she is just letting that go, and you just see the veins, just like where she's putting all of her energy into each and every shot.
Nice.
To not miss.
Beautiful. Next up, who wants to go next?
So my character's very much protect the innocent. He's not very keen on just seeing a load of people die in his carriage. So I want to have a bit of a look around to see if there's anyone that fulfills that role for me to protect. Obviously, we've got an elderly gentleman in the wagon with me as well, so hiding. So I want to make sure he's okay. But from a Roman sort of tactics point of view, I want to see like how many of the guards have actually got off the wagons and forming a decent defense. Is that going all right? Can I potentially position myself in a place where I can defend people, or do I need to get stuck in the action?
Given that you're having to do this with everyone around, and it's that you're trying to figure out where you're going, good areas to proceed, keep it going, I would say that will be your reason and your tactics.
Okay. Which is my reason and tactics is, where am I looking at that? Oh, so that's quite 7 and where's tactics in this? Oh, 2.
2 right there, and there's skills and focuses.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah,
I'll go
for it. However, due to the action and how incredibly like chaotic everything is going, you have to catch up, and people not knowing how things go, you are starting at a difficulty of 2.
Okay. Right. Well, do I just click the question mark D20 now? Is that what I do?
Yes, please. If you could, s'il vous plaît.
Oh, number of dice too. Give me that.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, 12.
All right. So describe to me how you do it, and I will say you can tell me which 2 people you were able to save.
Okay, well, so is this? So obviously, one of them's going to be the guy behind me, the old man. I've already got him behind my shield.
Oh no, they're fine. The old man's fine. Don't worry about that.
Oh, the old man's fine. Okay.
Yeah, these 2 people don't count as the 2 people you can save. That would be really rubbish.
So as I'm looking around, there's a lot of chaos. There's arrows whizzing past. I take sight of an old gentleman and his, I'd probably say teenage boy who's with him. They're looking wide-eyed, terrified. They're kind of hiding behind a wagon wheel. I click on them and I'm like, no, I'm not having this. So I run towards them, grab my shield, put it in front of them, and I was just like, stay behind me. We'll try and get out this together. So I've kind of got the teenage boy kind of to my side, and the elderly gentleman who might be his dad, he might be his granddad, or just some random stranger from a wagon. But they're the ones that I've managed to keep my eyes on at the moment. Obviously, blocking out the screams of many other people because it's not great.
Well, there's so much going on. You can only protect so many people, but these are the two that you know most likely need your help, and you're able to keep them safe, which is still pretty cool. And finally, Andy El Guino. I can't pronounce it. Keep going.
Seeing the legionary guys, don't mind me, I'll be fine. All right. Egg sort of gets up and starts to get out of the back of the thing, looks around like, okay. Goes through these different rune things. There's still like arrows whizzing past him. He seems to be completely unfazed by this. And I'm going to start muttering to myself as I hold one of these runes, and I'm going to cast the Bounty of Boulder. So I'm going to create a runic shield around myself and any allies within close range.
All right.
So it doesn't look like a big sort of magic type shield. It's essentially I'm sort of messing with probability essentially. So what should hit whizzes past, that sort of thing. But it will cost me eventually. Don't worry about the cost for
now. What I would say is, if this succeeds, all three of you will end this battle with no scratches or bruises or any kind of injuries whatsoever. You are going to get it no matter what, but if that succeeds, it will completely counter that. Give me the spell roll, please. How does spell magic work, Andy? Since you're already reading this, you must already know how it works.
So I am going to need to make a. I am a traditional spellcaster, so I use Insight as my ability. So it will be Insight plus, I believe, Persuasion for me. Oh wait, no, the spell tells me. Sorry, Insight, and then the spell is Resilience.
Yep.
So my Resilience is 2. And my Insight, I was literally just looking at it, and now I've lost it. 10. So I'm looking for 12s.
Let's see what you got.
Let's find out. Do we have any momentum?
No.
Damn.
Don't bring that mechanic in. It's not in yet.
Okay, sorry. My bad. Oh, yeah. That is a critical success. So that's a 1 and a 17. So 2 successes.
The 2 successes is enough. There is something. If the gods wanted you to die, you would be dead today. But they have said, not today. As each and every one of you somehow miraculously are going to get through this thing unscathed. The 3 of you are safe. That is not true for the rest of the caravan, unfortunately. No matter how your efforts go through and what you do, the fighting is almost over within the next 3 minutes. Bodies are lying around. People are knocked out. People are hurt. People are kind of conscious but injured. All of this happening. But what finally rounds it up is that as the 3 of you stop to catch your breath, to get yourself back to some kind of level of normality, all of you turn around and you see the caravan owner is on a 1v1 fight with one last of the bandits, and they've just had a dagger stabbed into their shoulder. They're yelping, they're on the ground, and this last bandit has grabbed it, pulled it out, and the caravan master has pulled out their sword and is trying to fend them off. We are now in an actual combat to show how this works. So, for fighting, it's fairly simple. At the beginning of combat, we decide who goes first. An NPC will go first if it's important, but I feel like at this point, you block can go first. A player goes, then an NPC goes, then a player goes, then an NPC goes, until everyone's taking their turns and it goes back. Or until I cheat. I'll come back to that.
Yeah. I feel Gertrude's the faster one, so it feels like she should go first.
I'm already kind of facing that direction to try to spot enemies, and seeing this individual on top of the caravan guy. Definitely, she would take aim first. That's her minor action, and then try to shoot this guy in his back.
Fantastic. What happens when you take aim for a minor action?
I'm sorry?
What happens when you take aim for a minor action?
I believe, let me take a look here. I think that changes the difficulty, if I'm not mistaken.
I hope you already knew it, as I said, I do apologize. What aim does is that you can re-roll 1d20 if you like when you make a roll after aiming.
Oh, understood. I'm taking a look, and I did not have that properly in my notes.
It's fine. I thought you did. I was like, oh hell yeah, let's go for it. I was like, oh, okay, never mind.
No, but I did remember that it was either something that it changed the difficulty for the shot, or there was something that gave me advantage as an archer. So I was gonna take
Still
it.
works. You got it. Please make
Okay.
your roll. When you
Yes.
shoot in this game, it is not opposed. It is a flat difficulty of 2.
All right. I would like to re-roll that 15 if possible.
Please do.
It's a little bit better. I believe that is under.
Your coordination and your fighting.
No, it's not. It's not. I'm sorry. I missed it by 1, but I did
So-
have the 2.
You rolled a 2 and a 13. Now, normally that 2 is just 1 success, but you have something called a focus in fighting, I believe, called
do.
archery. What that means is if you roll and the number is beneath your focus number, that also counts as a critical success.
Ah, okay.
So that will hit and that will do damage. So let's do damage rolls. All right, we're getting there. I'm
Yeah.
doing so well. Your weapon should have a challenge die rating on it for
Yes,
what
it
its
is
damage.
5. It
Then
is a
you
5.
roll
It has
5 of the
piercing as
challenge
well.
die. Pardon me, my love? Sorry, bitch.
It has piercing as well.
Excellent. Piercing means you ignore armor, but they're not wearing any armor, so they're fine.
Okay.
So, challenge dice is simple. A challenge dice will either give you 1 success, which is 1 damage, 2 successes, which is 2 damage. The numbers 3 and 4 are blank and do nothing. That's the red dot on here. Or it will be 1 success with a special thing, which is the Cthulhu symbol.
Okay.
So in your case, you have rolled 1, 2, 3, 4 successes with with 3 specials. Unfortunately, there's no piercing, so I have to worry about that, but that's what I would do. And that's 3 damage that person takes. It's not enough to take them down, but it is enough to make them move. And it slams into their shoulder, and they reel back, and they're holding onto it. They grab it and they break it off in anger as they stare back at you. It will now be their turn. They still have this dagger in their hand, and they turn towards you. And will they charge you? You're kind of far away. Oh, they'll throw it. It'll be even better. They're going to throw the dagger directly at you, like just chuck it straight at you, and it's going to go flying through the air as it's heading towards you. Your defense is also 2 dice. So I just need to roll really, really well to hit you. It's fine, no problem. I got this.
No big deal. Ooh.
Don't do it.
It's now a good time to show you how threat works. I think so. So, if you all see, I have this resource called threat, and this essentially dictates the threatening aura of the entire scenario that you're in. It will go up and down as we go along. Don't worry about it. I'll let you know how that works. I
Oh,
can
boy.
spend 1 to allow me to roll an extra die when I'm throwing this at you. So I'll now roll 3 d20s. I still need 2 successes at the very minimum to hit you, but don't worry about that. Here we go. Only 1. The dagger flies through the air, but it literally falls short directly in front of you, and it hits the ground. In fact, it's so short that it's time for you to notice that it's not actually a dagger. It's like a butcher's knife.
Oh.
A player may go next.
Do you mind if I go next, Andy?
No, he tells you, go on, lad.
Go on, lads. So,
Go on.
I have 2 civilians hiding behind a shield at the moment, so I'm kind of
Yeah.
like not going to be needing my shield right now. But I feel that this guy likes getting things stuck in him, so I'm going to give him something else to have stuck in him, and hopefully this one will stick, which is going to be my Pilum Javelin. I'm going to get my Pilum Javelin, and I'm going to launch it at his chest. Get a nice,
do it. Let's see if you
hard,
got-
true throw.
believe-
So I do have, when it comes to melee, it does say fighting 3 with melee
Yes.
and thrown weapons.
Mhm.
And my Pilum has a special Cthulhu symbol as well, so I don't know how that comes into
Ooh,
play.
let me take a look at that because I forgot to really take a look at all this stuff. Where is
Ooh.
your Pelham?
Yes.
Oh, that is when your Pilum, when you roll a special success, the Cthulhu symbol, that kicks in.
Ooh. So let's hope I get that then. Ooh, that.
No, you don't, because if that kicks in, your Pilum is rendered unusable.
Oh. Well, I don't want that happening then. So I'm gonna do my attack roll if that's okay then.
Do it.
So
Once again, as a range, you need 2.
So I've got a 6 and a 13.
That is a miss, unfortunately.
All that training, and I missed with my spear.
It goes on that side. You didn't destroy it. It goes flying through the air, but they're like running towards you, lot, like directly behind. And as they're running, it flies through the air. It actually hits them in the shoulder, and they just sort of ignore it. And the cut goes through the neck, and she's still bleeding from it. And they do nothing. They continue to run towards you. Final player turn. Elle, what's up?
Okay. Do they look Germanic, these people, or do they look Roman? Like, now that they're a bit closer, can we see what they're dressed as?
Let's start with, tell you what, they look Germanic. But if you want to use your minor action to make a quick reason roll with any skill you like, I'll let you see something else.
Ooh, yeah, I'm good at reason. I'm very reasonable.
Or would it be insight?
Let's go.
I think it's insight, actually. Never mind, take it back.
I mean, I'm good at that too. Let's go insight observation, I think, is what I'm trying to figure stuff out.
Heck yeah.
So we're looking for 12s. Whap, whap. Oh no, that's bad. That's an 18 and a 19. Wasn't like I didn't fumble. It's okay.
Don't worry about it for now. You failed. You made a roll, but you still can do something if you like. That was a minor action. That was for free.
Cool. Oh, nuts. I shouldn't have done that. I've just remembered how the game works. I was going to then cast Curse of Loki, but to cast a battlefield spell, I need to prepare it as a minor action.
That's effort. Don't worry about it. Carry on. What are you going to do now?
Oh, we'll do that. I'll cast Curse of Loki on this guy if they look Germanic. So Curse of Loki. So it goes back to this ring of this different necklaces of runestones around his neck and pulls out a different one. And starts muttering under his breath. And I want to send shadows, confusion, and dread to my enemies.
My favorite.
I plague them by a vision of giants and monsters. So if they look Germanic, I want a literal ice giant type thing to rear up behind us and scare them.
Nice.
Excellent.
If this goes well. So this is persuasion, which I have 5 in. Very persuasive. And insight, so I'm looking for 15s this time. So hopefully this goes better.
All right, make the roll.
It went marginally better. That's 1 success.
All right, you need 2 successes to do this. It's a difficulty 2.
Cool. So that is a no then.
All right. So what happens when the spell fails?
So if I rolled a 20, I would have a. It's not called a backlash. Damn, what's it called? Something else. A miscast.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when a spell fails, it just fails, but it still costs me to cast it.
All right. And what does it cost you?
This is a bad one. This is 5 CD drain. 2. Okay. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
I'm sorry, everyone.
Don't worry about it. Listen, this is new mechanics. It's better this way. What happened?
So Loki is a trickster god and has decided that he doesn't like me calling on him after Boulder, I think is what's going on there. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have taken 6 damage to myself.
Let's talk about it, shall we? Hold on. Yes. Let's get to it. All right. So, long story short, when you fail a spell, you still need to pay the cost. And the cost is taken in mental stress. Stress boxes are what you have at what's called as your essentially your health in the case. And they clear at the end of every scene, unless something really bad happens. In this case, it's about to. When you take stress, you can take as much as you want without too many problems. But if you take 5 in a row, you get an injury. If it fills up, you get an injury. If you've already maxed it out and then you take more, you get an injury. Ooh. In this case, did you fill out your stress box?
So no, and I have 2 courage.
Doesn't count for drain.
Does not count for drain.
No.
Oh no! Old man voice. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I am taking 6 points of damage. I have 16 stress, but that is over 5 points in one go.
You're good. Don't worry about it. So you will gain an injury. So mark the injury box, and then we can. Well, I'll tell you what you see in a minute. What happens is you go to do this, and something racks you, and it will flip you over, and you will land in the ground in the slightly light snowfall that you were in. That's the end of round 1. It is now round 2. Players, you may go.
Would you like to go first again, Gertrude?
Yeah.
Gertrude, not Gertrude.
yes,
Gertrude.
Gertrude,
Who is that?
Sorry,
Oh,
Gertrude, I met
okay.
you in the tavern last night. I apologise.
Like all those Romans.
This last person is now like
Yes.
in your face. You're
So
right
this
there.
is not a situation where she can use her bow. So
No, in this
in
case,
that
no.
moment, it's almost like a quick switch of like grabbing, reaching to grab her spear this time. I think that because of I'm switching weapons, I think that is drawing an item.
That is
or
a
does
minor
that count?
action.
That's a minor action.
I got
So
you.
I will have to draw my spear instead in order to try to impale this person that is coming to try to attack me.
Let's see what you got.
All right.
So
And this is, yes, my spear is a different amount. It does have reach 3.
which is very
depending on
important.
how far they are.
So here's the thing that's mostly important about this is when there's a whole thing about guard and stuff. I'm not going to go into that just yet. When you go into combat and you are fighting someone, in melee, it's an opposed roll. So whoever has the most successes wins.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So let's make the roll for that.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Ooh.
It is pretty good. You've beaten them by 2. So not only have you won, you have gained 2 momentum, which I shall
Yes.
note on the character sheet thing as soon as I remember how. So when you have
I have a
momentum,
question.
hit me.
I have a question. Because now that I gained momentum, I have something that's called Eye for Weakness,
Yeah.
where I can spot a vulnerability in their defense, natural or otherwise, and I can spend in a momentum to obtain information in order to study this creature or enemy. And in doing so, my attack against this person would gain a piercing 1 damage effect or deal additional die, challenge die.
All right. Would you like to spend the momentum to do that?
Yes, 1000%.
What you see as the weaknesses, as they're charging towards you and they're screaming and running towards you, you realize something. They're crying.
Oh.
Okay.
And their tears are flowing down their eyes as they're running towards you. And you realize that they're actually running towards your spear, hoping you will spear them.
I don't believe that would change my resolve because she's seen a lot that her compatriots on either side of her don't know about. They don't know this about her. It's something very similar that she's experienced. So she's going to give them that quick death that they're
All right. Roll the challenge die. You get the extra challenge die.
Okay. And I believe I have, so that makes it 5
Mm-hmm.
in this case.
So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage directly to them. It is clean. Actually, no. Describe how you want to take them out. I think you should be allowed that. They should allow that chance.
For this, it's almost just simultaneously where the person is trying to go to leap, and she took the spear from her back, and it's just a swift thrust to this person's heart, straight through, piercing straight, and she pulls it out. But as she does that, she does take that because the person I believe was identified as being Germanic, correct?
Yes.
She does kind of almost like let that person kind of fall forward, almost on her shoulder, almost like as if she's like kind of caressing the back of that person's head to lay them down on the snow.
as you
may
do
be at
so,
rest. And she says that
Sure.
you may be at rest.
as you do so, you see them. The tears are still flowing, and they're sobbing in their chest as their their breathing starts to get more and more ragged. But they do manage to whisper "thank you" before they pass away.
And she will close their eyes and kind of lay their arms over their chest. And she takes a moment leaning over them, kind of in thought, before gathering herself and placing her weapon back on her back and picking up her bow.
All right. There is a moment of silence that takes all of you when everyone sort of tries to catch up to some form of normality after what just happened. It was an intense moment. And then you hear crying coming from the boy that you just rescued. As the older gentleman holds him, looking around, looking scared. And then you hear a coming from the leader who was in charge of everything, a little bit ahead of you. He's still stabbed, unfortunately.
Well, I think it's only right I should probably head towards him, see if he's okay. And also reclaim my spear, my pilum.
That's gonna be fair.
Yeah, makes sense. So I'll give a little look down at the wonderful poetic scene that's just happened with the dead body by Gerfrid. Take a note and continue walking. Go to retrieve my pilum and see what's going off with the wagon master, if that is what his title is.
So, the wagon master is a Roman known as Caius Virginus Vellus. I always get that name wrong, so I'm just going to call him Caius from now on. And he is he's holding onto his wound, and he's bleeding terribly. And he's trying to, keep the blood in by pushing his hand upon it. Trying to keep up, and he's like, help! Help!
I mean, I don't have anything to help him, unfortunately. I mean, I can.
I mean, Madison says that we got one more time.
I mean, I'm looking at my gear going, I've got some bandages.
You feel a hand on your shoulder that, hey, lad, you're good at killing, I'm good at saving.
Oh, good.
I come in holding my head like. I've got cool under pressure medicine, so I sort of get down beside this guy, take a deep breath, and I won't spend my fortune point because I don't think he deserves it.
We're not introducing him yet. What?
Okay.
Hold up.
Right. Didn't do anything. I'll try and save him. I've got field treatment medicine.
All right.
As a focus.
Difficulty would be 2, but hey, remember that threat I have so much of? I'm going to spend some more right now. I can spend threats to make something a little bit more difficult than before. In this case, I will spend another point of threat to make that difficulty 3. Now, if you are playing the game and you don't have the resources you need to do stuff, there are 3 ways to get more resources. You can spend momentum to get 1 more dice like you have right now. You have 1 momentum at the moment in the pool. You can use something you all have called fortune points, which is a resource you all start with 1 on to automatically get a critical success along with an extra die roll. Basically, you turn on your dice to a 1 and do that. It also allows you to do narrative stuff as well, but we'll come back to that later. Or you can be really risky and you can give me more threats to get more dice.
Oh.
And that option is always open. You can always give me, if you want more dice, just tell me, I will take the threat. You can get more dice. Life is good.
Ooh. See,
Feels like a trap.
Don't worry about it.
That's at a cost, guys.
The cost is irrelevant if you're trying to succeed, okay? What matters is that you succeed. You want to get it done. Let's go.
So I have a question. I do have a question. I have something called the die is cast. Once per scene, when an NPC suffers a complication, I can reduce your threat down by 1.
Yes.
What classifies as a complication?
Whenever anyone rolls a natural 20.
Okay, right. That's cool. Fantastic. That's all I need to know.
Help.
That's not happened yet, so I can't help it. I can't help it, guys.
But that's good to know. That's good. That's good to know. Keep that in your pocket.
Good to know.
Okay. I think as Lloyd has been very kind to us and made this really difficult. Is everyone okay with me spending our last point of momentum to try and get an extra die on this?
get some info.
So yeah,
Ron and Bastard.
so this will be what ability is it? Coordination or will?
Coordination in this case, because you have to like, okay, gotta get a hold again, tie it on up. You can ask for help from the others if you like. There is helping mechanics in this game.
Oh yes, that's a good idea.
Assistance?
Peachy, you're next to me, aren't you?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Hold him down. This is gonna work.
I'll use my
All right.
brawn strength to do that.
So, helping is very simple. Whenever you're helping someone, you roll 1 d20 with the skill that you are helping with. And any successes you get, add to their successes. Do note, though, that even if you are perfect and you roll like 1,000,000 successes for them, they still need to get at least 1 success for it to work.
Well, it feels right to use my brawn to hold him down. So
With what skill?
That would be.
Do you have a holding down skill?
I have athletics.
I'll give you athletics. You can have athletics.
Okay, fantastic. I mean, technically, I could be holding down, right?
Lifting up, holding down, same thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I can add a dice to this, yeah?
Yes, 1 dice.
Right. Shall I add
I don't know how that went up, but it went great. Okay, so that is. Did you succeed?
So what am I looking for? I'm looking for 9. So yes, I got 1 success.
And what did you get, Peachy?
I got an 11.
So that's 2. That's 2 successes short.
I mean, my brawn's 11. I don't know if that counts, but
I mean, 11. It's your brawn plus your athletics. It's those 2 dice added together. What is that total?
That'll be 14. Sorry, 14.
Oh wow! So you got success.
Yeah.
Excellent. You still failed.
Good. Oh.
It's still a failure. Difficulty was 3.
Yeah, but it's my failure. It's okay.
Okay.
You help.
They're
I held him down
sitting
good.
They're sitting there bleeding, and they reach up and they grab your hand, Adelina, and they go, Lustford, 2 miles south. Help. Get safety. And the light goes out their eyes as they are there now also dead, leaving the 3 of you as the only survivors of the caravan attack.
Was that Lost Ford or Last Ford?
Lostford. Losford. Actually, Lusford.
Oh, Last Ford.
Ooh,
Yeah.
my favorite kind of Ford.
Monsieur!
What is this rated again? No, I'm just kidding. Cohors
It's okay.
After Dark.
Listen. Our
Cohors
editor will
After
just edit
Dark.
out the stuff that we don't like, so it's fine. Just give them more work. It's not they're going anywhere. They'll just work this weekend. That's okay, right?
Just edit
I'm
Peachy.
paid, right? Okay, cool. I'm so glad my editor can't talk crap to me. Yep. Ignore the emojis that are coming in the chat. Ignore the emojis in the chat right now.
Question: Does now I'm assuming that Gertrude probably got close enough at this point to possibly have heard. Did she hear the town?
Yep, let's for it.
Is that a place that she would be familiar with?
Give me an insight and town roll.
Ooh.
Okay.
The town that I don't know what that skill is supposed to be, but figure it out.
Yeah, I was like a town. I looked at my character sheet.
Oh no, it won't be insight. It will be reason, and whatever skill you think would apply for knowing about a town. I would say either observation.
Observation, I think.
Yes.
Because she's a scout, so she's been through these areas, but I'm just trying to see if she's familiar with the people of that.
Do you have a truth that is related to that?
Well, she's a part of a Germanic tribe.
In which case, it's
yes.
time I showed you how truths work.
Ooh.
Yes.
So, truths are special. They are things that are real to you and something that you use for anything else, and they can work in many forms. One of the very easiest way they can work is if a truth applies to something, it lets you either lower or raise a difficulty by 1. In this
Okay.
case, difficulty was 3 to figure out if you'd been around here before and know about it. But because you were from a Germanic tribe, difficulty is now 2.
Okay. And she's also too a nomad, so she doesn't stay in one place too long. So either one would possibly work, I
Yeah,
think.
I think 1 difficulty down is fair.
Okay.
So difficulty is 2. You can always give me some threat to get more dice if you want. I'm not okay with that if you want. It's right there. It's right. Just don't worry about it. It's fine. Just do what you want.
Yeah. I know the oldest trick in the book.
What are you
Don't
talking?
listen.
Nobody trusts me these days. You still got it though. So
I know how this goes. I know, Cthulhu.
All right. Lustford is an old town. It's been there for as long as you can remember. And it's one of the places that people tend not to always go to. It has been essentially, what's the phrase I'm looking for? It is a farming town with a decent population and a bunch of people that are doing their best to live and hang out. But one of the very few things that you would know, you got exactly 2, didn't you? Okay. One of the very few things that you would note about the town is that recently people have not really been going there very often. In the last maybe like year or so, like people have just been kind of avoiding it, mostly because of bad vibes and feelings. It's not rude, but one of the more prominent families, a really rich family that kind of own everything, and they tend to live not that far up in like a more like secluded part of the town, and they sort of own the town. Think of them like the chiefs of the town. They're not the ones in charge, but they basically like capitalism whole, and they keep the place running. And it's been in their generation for centuries. And it's always passed down to the eldest son, who tends to be the one that takes care of everything else. You don't know them personally, but you know that's true about the town as well. You also know that it's currently there's like a chieftain of the town named Militude, who is sort of in charge of more of the like social parts, where she interacts with people coming in to make trades and stuff like that.
She'll kind of come up behind them. Militude will be able to give us guidance. Should we depart?
I've got nowhere to be.
Excuse me.
Oh yeah.
The old man rises and he's holding a young boy. The boy's about like 7 years old, and he's like, "If it's all right, we would like to come with you."
Of course, my job is to protect the innocent, and that's what I do. So yes, I'm gonna take them. You can keep the shield as well. They can keep the shield for a time.
Oh, I'm fine. I'm not really.
Oh.
I'm a lover, not a fighter. Back towards
All right,
you.
I'll have the shield then. I'll take the shield back off him. Sad.
The boy's crying. He's like, "Did you say we're going to Lustford?"
Yes, that's where we're
They
going.
said-
That's where we're heading.
Yes.
That's where we were heading to. If that's all right with you.
Well,
Stay put.
I've heard as of late, there hasn't been many visitors in the area. Is there a reason behind that?
They look at you, and bros furrow a little bit, and they go, "We haven't been back in years." There's clearly something they want to say, but they hold it back and they go, "I'm simply just coming back home. It's been 8 years since I was last there."
Why are you going back now?
To return. Actually, no. What they'll say is, "That's personal. I'm sorry."
Understood.
Not to be nudged then, by the looks of it.
All right, let's get the torture thing over. I'm gonna waterboard this boy. Yeah!
Oh no!
Okay.
Give me answers!
What do I
I'll
need
like
for
to
that? Is that?
Can I like sort of crouch down in front of the kid and like in sort of a grandfatherly tone? It's like, listen, lad, this was not good. We need to know if we're going into any further trouble. All right. So anything you know, you can tell us. We'll keep you safe. Don't worry.
You say it to the boy?
Well, who was the one saying that they weren't coming? Who was the one?
It's the older man.
Oh, I say to the man then. I still call him lad.
Listen, lad, tell me what I want to know.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm silver-tongued, so I reduce the difficulty of persuasion tests by 1. If this
I'll
is in
give
fact
it to you.
interest.
I'll give it to you, but this is in fact a very personal thing. Difficulty is 3.
Ooh.
Is that with the reduction?
That's not with a reduction.
So yeah, I have the Silver Tongue talent, which reduces persuasion based test by 1.
Go for it.
I'm also a tribal elder, is one of my truths. I don't know if that counts. If
That
they
will not help you in the slightest.
they are not Germanic, are they? Yeah. No, I just realised that. I was like, I look like the enemy. Cool. Okay, so 2. I mean, those are some pretty average rolls. What am I rolling here?
You are
Obviously persuasion
rolling your
and
persuasion, and I would say for a main stat, I
gravitas?
would say reason.
Reason. Okay, that's a 15, so that is 2 successes.
All right. I think reason makes sense. No, wait, you're appealing to the inner self. Would that be gravitas? Let me confer. Let me think about it. Hold your horses. Wait up. Let me double confirm by reading through the descriptions of this. Is what
Do we have
gravitas
the
is a
option of
new
having
word
horses?
for me.
Yeah, where's
Where
my
are the
horse?
horses?
I can't hold my
Yeah,
horse.
where's our horse? I want a horse.
Quick.
These old legs don't want to be walking.
I hate all of you so much right now. No, it'll be gravitas. Gravitas is the word you're looking for.
Okay, so that was a 16 and I was looking for, so that's still 2 successes.
All right. They look at you and they go, I'm simply returning the boy to his home. I left here with my wife who has passed away, and we're simply coming home again. We've not been here for 8 years. And I just want him to see his family. We didn't leave on good circumstances, nor are we returning to good circumstances. And if you must know, I'm not sure if returning right now is what's best for my poor little boy. But that's what we're doing. And if it's okay with you, I'd like to not talk about it anymore. Is that all right?
Well, stay close.
Cool.
We'll keep you safe until we get there. That's what we'll do. What I'd like to do, and I don't know how I'd do this in the game, but I'd like to obviously keep them close by and maybe gain their trust somehow. So maybe if we get closer to the town, they might want to divulge a bit more
Oh,
information.
do you want to create that truth?
I would like to. Yeah, potentially.
All right. So normally you would spend a fortune to create a truth of your choice. But in this case, you protected the boy. You kept them safe at the beginning of the combat. You're taking them home. You've kind of cyberbullied them into telling you what they want. I would say you can create a truth of trust to either Oswald, the older guy, or Aldwin, the younger boy. Choose one.
I'm gonna.
Just a
Well-
heads up. This is the multiple choice option of the video game where you choose
I love
whether
it.
one path or the other. So you know, okay.
So I think obviously the older gentleman, if I'm going to reason this out, the older gentleman will probably be aware of the Roman legionnaires and this, that, and the other. Maybe obviously he's on board with them. He's not on board. I've saved him and his son. So obviously that's a from a parent point of view, that's quite a strong sort of like trust. But kids look up to like that kind of like hero worship, these kind of things. So maybe it's like, oh, this guy's like, but then what does he know from that situation? So I think the reason why I'd go with the older gentleman, I think that's the path I'd like to build the trust with.
Are you sure?
Yes. You're not going to pull that trick on me.
Well, talk to me in about 2 hours. All right.
Okay.
You now have Aldwin's trust.
Oh no.
As a-
Was that the worst decision I ever made? I'll find out.
So it's Aldwin, the old man, right?
Aldwin, yeah, Aldwin.
No, old man is Oswald.
Oh, Oswald. Sorry, Oswald.
Yeah. My bad. That was my bad. I made a mistake.
Oh, that sounds like a baddie name. I should have gone with Aldwin.
Okay, with that done, the 5 of you set off towards Lusford with Oswald.
Wait, but I'm serious about the horses. Are there horses?
Oh, there are no horses. It is only 2 miles. You are like a bad bitch. You don't need a horse. You're good people. You be fine.
How much badder should be an ultimate baddie coming in on a horse? But it's fine. It's fine. Can I create that truth? No, I'm just kidding. It's fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching part 1 of our game. We really appreciate you being here. Join us for part 2, where we shall find out what's really going on in the town of Lusford. I am Lloyd. Thank you for playing. And here are my 3 beautiful players, starting with Utahime.
Hello guys, I'm Utahime. I'm a host, cosplayer, and ultimate nerd. I love playing tabletop games, and I'm happy to be here at this table. Honored to be here, and it's already been a blast so far. I can't wait to see what happens next time.
Then come around with Peachy.
Hi, I'm Peachy. I am a nerd as well, a painter of miniatures, a lover of all things sharp and Sean Bean, and I have a YouTube channel called Peachy Tips. Go check it out.
And finally, Andy.
I'm Andy Douthwaite. I'm a dev at Modiphius, and this has been great fun. I'm looking forward to the next bit.
Yeah.
All right. See you all in part 2.